أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واحشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين المنتخبين، لا سيما بعد. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى وتبارك وتعالى: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. This is our 11th episode on the subject Shia'ism, the natural outcome of Islam. In our 10th episode, we have said about the historical background, the fact or the fict, that is a fiction or a reality. We found it to be a fiction mostly by renowned historians about the sects of Shias and Sunnis, about Abdullah ibn Saba, and who was created. His character was created by Saif bin Umar, and we said in our 10th episode that in the next episode we will throw light on life and works of Saif bin Umar. First of all, we should let you know that whatever is the intent and event of Abdullah ibn Saba attributed, it belongs to the era of Hazrat Othman, that is before 35 age, when Imam Ali took as to govern the Muslim Ummah. It is said that during the reign of Hazrat Othman, Abdullah ibn Saba came from Yemen, and he was a Jew who came to bring discord, create discord within Muslims, and so the Shias came into existence. That we have refuted in its previous episodes, 10, 9, 8 in them. Now what we are looking forward here is, let us see the role of Saif bin Umar. For the first time we get the name of Abdullah ibn Saba in the writings of Saif bin Umar. For Saif bin Umar, what two things are sufficient are to give the dates in which he was born and died, and what the historians of Rijal in Sunni themselves, they write of him. For example, when after 35 Hijri, before 35 Hijri, when the story of Abdullah ibn Saba is carved, we find that from 35 age till 145 age, there is no record in history tracing the character as a person in history, in Islamic history, of Abdullah, the name of a person with the name Abdullah ibn Saba. For the first time we notice it in the writings of Saif bin Umar. Now this Saif bin Umar was born in 145 Hijra. That is, even if we take 35 Hijra as the latest date before Imam Ali, that is after killing of Othman, then it goes to 145 minus 35, 110 years. So after the killing of Othman, 110 years after him, a person writes a book in which he introduces Abdullah ibn Saba. Right? So where we can then find the missing link between 145 Hijra to 35 Hijra? And we are counting from 145 Hijra. 145 Hijra means he is born. Of course, when a baby is born, the same year he cannot write down the book. He should need to reach the late age of adulthood, say 17, 18, 20 years, because he passed away in 168 AD, 168 Hijri. So his lifespan was only 23 years. So if a person of 23 years, it is acceptable that at the age of 20 years, at the age of 3 years, He might have written because there are some genius. Of course, the genius can only carve new figures, new fictions. We have in India a very renowned scholar who has penned down a very good book on Jihad fil Islam. I meant Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi. He wrote that book at the age when he was of 24 years. So it is acceptable that 18 years, 20 years, 23 years, yes, books can be written, right? But of course in 145 Hijri, after soon and immediately after his birth, it is not possible to write any book. Okay. So let us assume that between 145 and 168 age, the book would have been written. But still, if we count the gap between 145 and minus 35 Hijri, it comes to 110 years. So there is no record. This is the first case. No missing gap is filled between 35 Hijri events of killing of Hazrat Othman, where Saif bin Umar has carved the character of Abdullah ibn Saba. Right. Then the second is, what is the sanctity? What is the authority? What about the authenticity of Saif bin Umar himself? So this episode cites on that one to rule out how far the report of Abdullah ibn Saba, number 1, by Saif bin Umar, born in 145 age, 110 years Saif bin Umar, 110 years after the passing away of Hazrat Othman, and then without any links, without any chains, he reports, and that too he writes complete biography. He writes a complete biography of a person. So does this not prove that the character of Abdullah ibn Saba is fake or near fake fiction? Now let us see about the authenticity of this person. Saif bin Umar was born in Kufa in 145 Hijri. And what is said, let us see what the figures of history have narrated about him. We see that the books that deal with the reporters of hadith inform us that Saif was a well-known liar. Ibn Ma'in died in 233 Hijri said Saif is weak. Abu Hatim died in 277 Hijra said Saif's hadith is rejected. Al-Nisai died in 303 AH said Saif is weak. Abu Dawud died in 216 AH said Saif is nothing. Some of his hadith were conveyed and the majority of them are denied. Ibn Hibban, a very great scholar, Ibn Hibban said Saif fabricated a hadith to good reporters. He was accused of being a heretic. Darul Khutni, again a great scholar of repute, well received by our Sunni brothers, who died in 385 Hijra, said Saif is weak. Al-Hakim al-Nishapuri, again a great figure, he says, Hakim al-Nishapuri, who died in 405 Hijra, said Saif is accused of being a heretic. Ibn Abdul Barr, again a great figure, died in 462 Hijri, great figure of this Sunni Islamic scholarship, said in his writing about Al-Khaqa, Saif reported that Al-Khaqa said, I attended the death of the Prophet Muhammad. Ibn Abdul Barr also said, Ibn Abi Hatim said, Saif is weak. Thus, what was conveyed of the presence of Al-Khaqa at the death of the Prophet is rejected, because he was not there, none was there at the time. Neither Al-Khaqa nor Saif bin Umar. At the death of the Prophet is rejected. Ibn Hajar, again a great figure, died in 850 Hijri. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who is famous for his Shia enmity, and who has penned down very aggressive book, Sawaq al-Mahriqa. Even he has said, Saif hadith are weak. Suyuti, again a great figure of tafsir and hadith, who died in 900 age, said after conveying hadith, many reporters of this hadith are weak, and the weakest among them is Saif. Then, these are from the works of Sayyid Murtaza al-Askari on Abdullah ibn Saba, pages 270, page 27 to 28. Then he said, well, I should mention that al-Askari had a very distinguished achievement. He proved beyond any doubt in his book Abdullah ibn Saba that Ibn Saba never existed and that he was invented by Saif bin Umar. Was Ibn Saba the organizer of the revolt against Othman in Basra, Kufa in Egypt? Should a reader of Islamic history be liberated from his emotions towards or against the third caliph, he can be assured that the call for a revolt against caliph did not start in Basra, Kufa, Syria or Egypt. See, the great historical fact is that the revolt started only in Medina, not in Basra, Kufa, Syria or Egypt. The agitation against the caliph started in Medina by prominent and influential individuals. The most prominent among them were Aisha, Umm-ul-Mu'minin, Hazrat Aisha, the Umm-ul-Mu'minin Francis, wives of Prophet, mothers of Mu'minin, the mother of believers, Talha, Zubair, Abdurrahman bin Auf. The third Caliph Uthman was given the allegiance of the people with the stipulation that he would manage the affairs of the nation according to the book of God and the teaching of Islam. Now from here comes the story, that he was to follow the method of Abu Bakr and Umar. So this is all. But since he was not doing this, these people of Medina, like the Umm-ul-Mu'minin, Hazrat Aisha, and Talha, Zubair, they all stood up. So there is no role, no factor of anything to do with Abdullah ibn Saba, and that has nothing to do with those who are in who are outside Medina, because that time there was no such communication as it is today. You send a message, WhatsApp or social media, in seconds you get all across the globe. But that was not the time. So we one may make out that can any report be of Saif bin Umar be accepted on the grounds of ilm rijal, on this the knowledge deals, the faculty of knowledge that deals with the biography of narrators. So based on this, we dismiss whatever has come from Saif bin Umar, especially from the scholarship of great, renowned, well-received Sunni scholarship. Based on their findings, is it not difficult for us to accept, and it's not easy for us to reject because of these reasons? Now in our next episode, we are going to discuss what the term Shia, which some few of our Shia brothers today are speaking about. So that, please look out for our next episode, episode number 12, on this subject. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum wa sahil makhrajahum wa shurna ma'hum warzuqna shafa'atuhum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma kun li waliyika al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan salawatuka alayhi wa ala abaihi fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a waliyyan wa hafidha wa qaidan wa nasira ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم وسهل مخرجهم واشرنا معهم وارزقنا شفاعتهم.